This podcast is brought to you by the Senior Techie, a source of information for seniors and others about technology. Welcome to the Senior Techie podcast. Imagine you are alone in your kitchen on a quiet afternoon. You reach up into the cabinet to grab a coffee mug and, well, out of nowhere, a sudden, sharp pain tightens across your chest.
Oh, man. Or, perhaps your foot catches the edge of a rug and you take a hard, unexpected fall.
Exactly. Your heart rate instantly spikes, your breathing becomes shallow, and this massive wave of adrenaline just completely floods your system. In that specific terrifying moment, your hands are likely shaking uncontrollably.
They absolutely are. It's just biology.
Right. So if you are an adult over 55 or, a family member or caregiver supporting someone who is, understanding what happens next is absolutely vital because the idea of reaching into your pocket, pulling out a smartphone, and trying to carefully type in a tiny 6-digit passcode on a glass screen, it's virtually impossible.
Oh, yeah, entirely impossible under that kind of stress.
Okay, let's unpack this. It is the physiological equivalent of trying to thread a needle while riding a roller coaster. So today, our mission is to explore how to bypass that impossible task. We're looking at how to transform the device you carry 24/7 into a silent, highly effective digital guardian. And the benefit to seniors here is immense. You don't need to learn a complicated new app.
Right, exactly. You just need to activate what's already in your pocket. The most empowering aspect of this transformation is that the barrier to entry is practically zero.
It's already there.
Yeah. Society often frames technology for older adults as this constant cycle of learning complex apps or fighting software updates.
Yeah.
But the safety net we're discussing today doesn't require downloading a single thing. The engineering is completely baked into the core operating system of the device you already own.
Just fold it up in the background.
Exactly.
Oh.
We are looking at specific features designed to bypass the need for fine motor skills entirely. It allows you to communicate life-saving info when you might not even be able to speak a single word.
But if you're listening to this, you're probably wondering about the privacy side of things. Is it really safe to have my medical info available without a passcode? What about privacy? If I accidentally leave my phone sitting at a coffee shop, I don't want a stranger scrolling through my health records.
Well, that's a very valid concern.
Yeah.
But the underlying software architecture handles this through a brilliant implementation of isolated encryption.
Okay, what does that actually mean for the user?
It means when we talk about the medical ID features by Apple and Google, we are not talking about a system that actually unlocks the phone. The operating system maintains a strict cryptographic wall protecting your personal data.
So they can't get into my emails or anything?
Right. No text messages, no photo gallery, no banking apps. It strictly permits read-only access to one single file, which is your medical ID. It's this masterful balance of offering total privacy for your digital life while guaranteeing absolute transparency for your physical well-being.
That is so smart. And the Senior Techie says first responders, paramedics, emergency room nurses, police officers, they're systematically trained to look for this exact digital bypass the moment they arrive.
Oh, absolutely. What's fascinating here is how first responders simply swipe up on a locked screen and tap emergency. They know this interface intimately.
Wow. Okay, so for iPhone users, the Senior Techie outlines a very straightforward setup process. You just open the Health app, tap your profile picture, and select Medical ID to edit it. Add your blood type, medications, severe allergies.
Yeah, but there is a vital, non-negotiable step there.
Wow.
You have to ensure the toggle labeled Show When Locked is switched to the green position.
Right, because without that, it's just hidden behind the passcode.
Exactly, rendering the whole thing entirely useless for an EMT. And Android users follow a highly comparable logic. On a Google Pixel or a standard Android, you navigate to Settings, find About Phone, and select Emergency Information.
And for Samsung Galaxy,
the route is just Settings, Safety and Emergency, and then Emergency Information. First responders just swipe up on the lock screen, tap Emergency, and view it. You are essentially writing a customized field manual for a paramedic.
Okay, so paramedics possess the ability to read your medical history once they arrive. But what if you are alone and need to actively summon them without dialing 911 conventionally? Here's where it gets really interesting. So you're telling me the phone knows I'm in trouble just by how I touch the buttons, even if it's still in my pocket?
Yes. And this empowers seniors specifically who might suffer a fall or sudden illness where looking at a screen isn't possible. It comes down to human biology and the mechanics of capacitive touchscreens.
because swiping a glass screen takes actual precision.
Right, cognitive load and fine motor skills. When your brain registers a severe threat, adrenaline reroutes oxygenated blood to your major muscle groups. Your fine motor skills degrade instantly. Furthermore, if your hands are sweating or shaking, a smooth glass touchscreen just can't register your input.
So you have to rely on hardware triggers.
Exactly. Squeezing the physical frame of the device or mashing a protruding button relies entirely on gross motor skills. Zero precision needed.
Oh, I love that. So the senior techie says for an iPhone 8 or newer, you press and hold the side power button and either volume button simultaneously. An SOS slider appears. But there's a deeper layer, right? You can enable auto call under settings, emergency, SOS.
Yeah. And when that feature is active, holding those physical buttons bypasses the screen entirely. It starts a 5-second automatic countdown and blares a really loud warning siren.
Wait, really? A siren? That's brilliant because it draws attention from neighbors or passersby.
Yes, and on a deeper psychological level, it gives you auditory proof that help is initiating, even if your vision is blurry. Now, for Android Pixels, the gross motor action is a rapid sequence. Under Settings, Safety and Emergency, Emergency SOS, you rapidly press the power button 5 times in a row.
5 times quickly. Got it. And for Samsung Galaxy.
Settings, Advanced Features, Send SOS messages. You press the power button 3 or 4 times quickly, depending on the model.
Okay, so calling 911 gets the ambulance to you, but how do your family members and caregivers find out what's happening? We have to bridge that gap, and I was absolutely blown away by this fact for Android users.
Oh, the environmental context feature.
Yes. When SOS is triggered, it can send a 5-second audio clip and photos from both the front and back cameras directly to your emergency contacts. That is incredible tech magic.
It really is. And the primary benefit lies in mitigating unhelpful panic. If a caregiver just receives a generic text saying an SOS was triggered, their immediate reaction is unmitigated terror.
Oh, absolutely. They have no context. They don't know if it's a stroke, a car crash, or an accidental button press.
Right. But providing an audio clip and visual data delivers immediate, actionable intelligence. They might hear the background noise of the grocery store or see the familiar ceiling of your hallway. It transforms a terrifying alert into a specific scenario they can respond to logically.
Wow.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this links back to the ICE acronym in case of emergency. Paramedics still proactively look for that in contact lists.
Ah, I remember that. People used to put that in physical wallets.
Exactly. By purposefully importing that tradition into your digital contacts, you're speaking the native language of first responders. On Android, you go to Settings, Safety and Emergency, Emergency Contacts, Add Member, and toggle Show on lock screen.
And for iPhone, emergency contacts are added inside the Health app during that medical ID setup, right?
Yep.
They appear automatically.
You got it. And you should definitely add at least one contact named ICE.
Okay, but all these digital beacons share one glaring vulnerability, the battery. A dead phone is just a glowing paperweight in a crisis. The senior techie emphasizes keeping your battery above 50% when leaving the house. But Samsung Galaxy phones specifically have an emergency mode, right?
Yeah, they do. It executes this ruthless triage of the phone's background processes. It restricts background data entirely and turns the vibrant screen into a simplified black and white interface.
Because color takes more power.
Precisely. By defaulting to grayscale, the phone can stretch a mere 5% battery life to potentially several hours just to keep that SOS cellular connection open.
That is amazing. But, having the ultimate digital guardian is entirely useless if your brain forgets how to use it when stress hormones spike. The senior techie emphatically highlights a critical reality here. Under stress, the brain defaults to practiced habits, not what it merely read once.
That's the neurological truth. Your executive function, the part of the brain responsible for logical sequencing, basically shuts down. You can't think your way through an emergency.
So we have to transition to the will you remember phase. We need to build actual muscle memory. Practical advice for seniors and caregivers: write it down. Keep a small index card near the charger with the SOS trigger, 2 key contacts, and a note that medical ID is active. I just love the brilliant irony of using a piece of paper that doesn't need a battery to back up a supercomputer.
It's the perfect passive visual reinforcement. Step 2 leverages mnemonics. Use the acronym SOS-ID ICE to remember your priorities.
So, SOS to know the trigger, ID to ensure the medical ID is visible, and ICE for the labeled emergency contact.
Exactly. And step 3 is practice. 2 minutes a month, maybe the first Sunday of the month, you sit down, Slowly press the SOS combo, being careful to cancel it, of course, and visually verify the medical ID.
Because the physical repetition encodes it into your motor cortex.
Yeah.
And step 4 is to teach a friend, right? Explaining it deeply encodes the skill in your own brain.
It exposes any lingering gaps in your knowledge. And finally, update it twice a year. Set reminders in April and October so first responders aren't relying on stale medical information.
Yeah, you don't want them seeing an old list of prescription medications.
Exactly. We often view our smartphones as learning hurdles or persistent distractions or just a complicated way to video call the grandkids.
Yeah, just a modern annoyance.
Right. But what if the most advanced thing your phone will ever do is act as a silent digital guardian that can speak for you when you lose your voice? It challenges us to see everyday technology as an accessible safety net rather than a burden.
I completely agree. So what does this all mean? It means taking 15 minutes today could change everything tomorrow. This podcast was brought to you by The Senior Techie. It's available on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. If you'd like to receive their free newsletters, you can subscribe by going to subscribe.theseniortechie.com.